If you know anything about me in real life, you'll know that reading is half my personality, so I'm going to review all of the books that I've read so far this year. I read Heroes and Troy by Stephen Fry. Loved both of them, gave them both 4 out of 5 stars, a really nice, easy introduction to Greek mythology, and I just love the narrative and tone Stephen Fry uses. I feel like I'm going to get cancelled for this, but I next read Conversations with Friends and gave it 1 star. I know that there's a cult following for Sally Rooney on this app, but it just really wasn't for me. I found the storyline dull, I found the characters dull and two-dimensional. I couldn't get into it. This has been my favourite book of the year so far. Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson. So good, written in second narrative and such a beautiful love story set in South London. I then read the book Exciting Times, but in fact there was nothing exciting about it. In fact, I gave it 2 stars. It was incredibly boring times, dull times, not good times, time I want back. On the other hand, I read Queenie by Candice Carty-Williams. It was a really good book. I gave it 4 stars. Listened to the audiobook and it made me literally laugh out loud. I then decided to return to my roots and read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is the prequel to The Hunger Games. It didn't go well for her. Listen, I am not a hater, but this story was literally like 600 pages long and about 500 pages of it happened in his head. It was so boring. And it takes a lot for me to say that because I absolutely adored The Hunger Games when I was younger. So in order to force myself to remember that I actually enjoyed reading, I reread Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows and I gave it 5 stars. I've never given a Harry Potter book less than 5 stars because Harry Potter deserves the world. Then really random, I was on like a fantasy fiction high, so I read The Amulet of Samarkand. If you enjoy fantasy and you're in a book slump, I would really recommend this. I gave it 5 stars because it was just really entertaining, really fast paced, and I just found it so funny at times. I then read The Little Prince, really short, sweet, wholesome, gave it 4 stars. Nothing wrong with it, but I just wasn't absolutely blown away. Same goes for We Should All Be Feminists. It was short, it was sweet, it was nice. I gave it 3 stars. Nothing amazingly stand out, but still really nice read. And finally, The Courage to Be Disliked. I'm actually finishing this book up right now, but honestly, it's a really good book. I think I'm going to give it 5 stars because I think it's such a digestible self-help book in a dual perspective that's basically a conversation. And those are all the books that I've read so far this year. I have only read 12 books this year and my goal is 40, so I really need to get a move on. So drop down any book suggestions that you have for me and I'll definitely check them out.